you know what? Just for fun, let's create the worst investment we could possibly think of. Sure, why not? So first, it shouldn't be just one initial deposit of your money like any other good investment. No. If we do this right, it's gonna require a lot of recurring payments and it's gonna drain the cash reserves of its owner. Yeah, that sounds pretty bad, man. Well, yes, and it should also be illiquid. Well, like, what do you mean? Well, you know how with stocks you can sell them instantly, right? Yeah, let's make this investment be the complete opposite of that. That way it takes weeks, no, months of effort, time, energy, and just stress to buy and to sell, especially to sell. That way when you need that money quick, it's gonna take a while, am I right? Ooh, yeah, I like that. What else? Well, it should also be very expensive to buy and to sell. Unlike equities nowadays, which are basically free to buy and sell because, you know, technology? Love that. Let's make it outdated for no reason. I mean, nowadays there's apps like Robinhood, M1 Finance, Webull. They allow you to buy and sell and trade for free. Yeah, no, not for this investment though. We'll add very high transaction costs, just for funsies, no reason at all. We'll say 5% on the commission on the investment for coming in and going out. Man, you are evil. But this can't get much worse, right? Oh, you wait, it's about to get way worse. Let's make it so that it's extremely complicated to buy and to sell their investment. But if anybody wants to get a slight leg up and get a little extra return, we'll charge them for a license. That way we can ladle on some extra fees, reports, and documents that we can charge extra for. You know what I mean? Yikes, man. How about the returns? How bad? 5%? Well, it should generate extremely low returns, certainly no more than the government's ability to print and inflate the US dollar. But okay, we'll give a few exceptions to those living in great, booming tech cities to get people into thinking that it's the American dream and that anyone can make great returns anywhere at any time. Oh, how can I forget? It should be leveraged. Yeah, that one is pretty great. I feel like that's margin trading in the stock market. People get so greedy. Exactly. But this is how we'll get people to swallow those really low returns. Because when the price goes up, they're gonna think they're a genius because leverage is gonna magnify those little returns, and then people are gonna think it's the greatest investment ever, only to forget that in their greed, leverage can go both ways. And just like you can make a lot of money, you can also be wiped out in an instant. Yeah, that's true. People only look at the positives when it benefits them. Sure, and it should also be mortgaged. That's one of the beautiful things about leverage. We'll get people to pay interest on that loan, and then we'll even convince people to borrow against that investment more than once. Oh, I've got one. How about it should be unproductive? I mean, it shouldn't produce any products or ideas or services. It should just sit there idly and not even pay the owner dividends or anything like that. Now you're talking. And while we're at it, let's make it be the complete opposite of diversified. In fact, let's make it just stuck to one specific geographical location. That way, only a handful of specific group of buyers will ever exist for it. And in some cases, and sometimes, no buyers at all. Oh my God, that's so mean. Oh, we're only halfway there, dude. Imagine this. Its fate will be tied to one country. How about one state? One city? One town? No, I got it. One man. Just kidding. It'll be one neighborhood. Imagine how risky that would be. A violent gang moves in next door, a factory nearby closes, or the local government goes crazy with taxes. An environmental disaster strikes. And we can have that investment not only crush the owner's net worth, but do it as he's losing his job and his income. Ouch, man. I'm starting to feel sorry for the poor guy. Oh, literally, poor guy. Not only is he tied to that one location, he is going to be so submissive to his employer because he's always going to be afraid to lose his job. Poor guy is never going to ask for a raise. Well then, let's make it expensive to own. Let's make this investment something that requires an endless slew of maintenance work, which without, the investment would just crumble into dust. Yeah, and easily damaged by by weather, fire, vandalism, anything really. But we'll make sure to make them pay for expensive insurance coverage on those things. But if anything really bad happens to their investment that's gonna damage it beyond their control, like acts of God, we won't cover that at all. Don't worry, we'll make sure that part of the contract has extra tiny font so they won't notice. But if they do notice, we'll just make them pay extra for it. What about taxes then? Oh, it should be taxed a ton, I would say. In fact, let's involve our local and state governments, and why wait to sell the investment to get taxed on it? Let's make this investment taxed every single year, and if it goes up in value, we'll raise their taxes. And lower them when it goes down? Nah, don't be silly. This investment shouldn't be something they'll ever own anyway. And since we gave the power to the government to tax this investment every single year, owning it should be something like sharecropping. That way we'll let them do all the peasant work and all the maintenance and the upkeep and the work and all the costs associated with owning it. And as long as they pay their rent, taxes, we'll just let them stay in it. Unless, of course, we want it back. Oh yeah, that's right. We can make it subject to eminent domain. Yup, in case we decide that instead of getting our rent money, taxes, we would just rather take it away. And finally, it should be something that leads to stress, more divorce, and of course be impossible to divide. Wow, that is one horrible investment, man. Like,